For more on these latest developments, I'm joined by WTOP national security correspondent JJ Green. JJ, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You know, with the way the story keeps progressing with every passing day, doesn't it appear that Snowden seems less and less of perhaps a reliable source of information?
You may have a point there. One of the things that came out today, and it could just be the stress that he may be under at this point, one of the things that came out today was he put out the statement that you were just talking about, saying that he was a stateless person. But in reality, his passport was revoked, not his citizenship. So he's still a citizen of the U.S., so he's not a stateless person. You know, it's just the passport that was revoked. So, you know, that to me suggested that maybe now he's getting to a point where things are starting to really weigh on him, and where he ends up is really way more uncertain than he ever thought it would be. So as time passes, he may sound more and more like you thought, you know.
Well, you know, he releases these official statements, but he's been on social media this entire time. He is on his microblogging site, constantly updating, answering people. I mean, people are pretty much having conversations with him on Twitter here in America.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, a whole part of the process that he was hoping to paint himself as a reachable, likable person that is a real person and not some product of groupthink that sort of created this whole thing to sort of embarrass the U.S., but to show that he's a real person and he was really behind all this. The downside to this is, as time passes, people are starting to ask the question, okay, so what is it that you're putting out, and what is the motive behind what you're putting out, and why are you putting it out from these places that you're in, and why are you having this particular dilemma in Russia, and why now are you having issues with the folks in Ecuador? What was the situation in Hong Kong? So him being out there answering certain questions, select questions, because he did have a chat last week and I participated in it. He didn't answer my questions, but he did answer questions from other journalists. And some of those questions were, why did you do this, and what's the situation? And they were basic answers, standard answers, no real insight.
Well, you mentioned as time passes, and as time passes, nobody is offering him asylum. Every day that passes, he's basically thrown himself out there to all these various countries, but no one's taking him.
Well, here's the problem with that. The words of Vladimir Putin said, we're not going to throw you back to the U.S. You can stay here, most likely, but you can't continue to do this work. You can't continue to leak this stuff that's detrimental to our allies. And then he said, I think, as strange as it sounds coming from my lips. So the point is, the U.S. has gotten the ear of the world as far as the damage that this caused the U.S. and can cause. And if they are cordial to him and allow him to come there, then that's going to cause some problems for that country, which is, I think, a part of the reason why he's having a difficult time finding a new home.
10 seconds. That being said, would Russia, would Ecuador, would Venezuela be afraid that if he came to their countries, he could do the same thing and give out their secrets?
Well, a part of what's happening right now is they're trying to figure out what he really knows. If what he says he knows, he knows, and he has. And also they're trying to verify all these documentations that are being released. And yes, there is a concern. How much can we trust him?
All right, JJ Green, thank you so much for your insight.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us.